Hello guys, good evening. Welcome to the Ebitcoinics Academy. As usual, it's a Friday, and as you all know, every Friday we run this webinar. Those of you that are watching this on Zoom, hello to everyone, and those of you that are watching this on YouTube, to hello, and Facebook, hello to y'all, and welcome to Ebitcoinics Academy, our weekly webinar. And as we shared earlier, actually, this week what we are going to discuss includes just something about the market, the status of the market, or some of the things that's been happening, what's ongoing currently around the blockchain, the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency ecosystem, and we are very excited to see the price of Bitcoin going down, 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 and down. Yeah, it's excitement, especially it gives everyone massive pressure, and if you are not friendly to pressure, you are not welcome to industry. So what's going, what are some of the events that has been causing the recent drop in prices, and is it only the cryptocurrency market that is suffering this way, or it's not just the cryptocurrency market? We have to have a look at it together, and I think it has everything to do with the entire world, things that has to do with every business and every market that's running independently, whether it has something to do with crypto or not. But first, let's look at the stock market. What is happening? What is trending on top of the stock market? We would all get to know about that. I think there has been decrease in volume in not just the cryptocurrency market, but the entire crypto or the entire business market. Right now, as we speak, stocks are depreciating. Status of stock, the stock market. Now, if you open this article, like you're going to ask Google market summary, you look at this. This is the current summary on top of the market, and this is just the stock, the entire stock, how it is closing, how it got started, and the previous records of all the stocks, and that's what I'm talking about. So if you open over here, you see that there are not plenty greens. All right, there are lots and lots and lots of red over. You look at on top of Nasdaq, things are keeping on the low, and lots of indexes are suffering and bleeding, and that has everything to do with the economic nature of what is going on with the world. And if you look at this, you realize natural commodities like gold, silver, gas, and all that, things that have exceptional use cases, like everyday use cases, you realize they happen to be at where they are supposed to be, or constantly, even if it drops, it's still able to correct itself, and that is very much amazing. Now, aside the stock market or the natural commodities we do have, you realize that we have indexes for treasuries which continue to go down, and that explains what is really happening with the US dollars, and the US dollar is generally suffering. Now, if the US dollar is generally suffering, it makes sense for you to know that a lot of businesses are also suffering at the same time. And then we have the currencies against the units of the currencies, and almost, let me say, euro is doing so good, and then pounds is equally doing so good. But if you realize US dollar has been suffering extensively, and the way US dollar is suffering, it has actually caused lots of currencies that are depending on the US dollar to equally suffer, and that is not healthy at all. Now, why are we talking about the stock market if we are doing crypto and don't care about everything, and we are doing crypto? Why is it that it matters for us to talk about the stock market? It is because all of these things are market. Now, the real estate market is also suffering at the same time, where prices of houses are coming down, because if currencies are performing so bad and people cannot raise much more X amount of various currencies to be able to buy estates, obviously it affects the end prices of these assets, and obviously it is so good. And not just the estates, the automobile industry is also suffering, and it has affected almost a whole lot of things. Now, look at this on top of, I like I like doing things practically, because if you look at what you see over here, the markets, like the diary, with things that are ongoing with different markets around the world, you realize that for the past 24 hours, huge markets have been depreciating, like over 20% or close to 20%, 5% keeps on going down, and that happens continuously. And if you look at the news, almost now all the stocks, all the markets available talks about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So it's like a uniform market to all of them. Now, what do you think is actually going to happen that is going to correct all of these things? Well, is it demand, or is it naturally things are going to correct itself and come back to normal? Now, all of this market are discussed. If you look at this, we have an article here on top of news that ebitcoinics.com, which explains, or which states that the fall in stock market could lead to Bitcoin new all-time high, which is 88, or like a new price being formed on top of the current Bitcoin market. Now, this article was actually made up by the news.ebitcoinics team, and that's how it goes. It says Makeza, an investor in crypto, a fund partner in digital asset, has predicted that Bitcoin could surpass its previous all-time high price as the stock market dropped this week. Now, there has been natural instances of market that has happened over the week. Now, the stock market is going down and is doing poor at the moment. The estate market, the automobile industry is also suffering like that. But it is not this only. It's not only this market that are suffering. If you look at what happened, like close to almost $1,000 of Bitcoin's price has been lost, or let me say $800 of Bitcoin price has been lost, and that led to a huge $1 billion cap being wiped off the entire market. Now, there are activities that are ongoing that could have led to natural growth of Bitcoin, but it is not like that. We think that there are lots of manipulation in the market where maximalists are trying to do new stock of these various currencies, and therefore they are manipulating the market as best as they can so that they would be able to get your coins back from you. But nevertheless, we saw the news of Bitcoin Cash experiencing a fork, which actually I'm very sure almost everyone that bought into buying a lot of Bitcoins to keep for the fork, or Bitcoin Cash to keep for the fork, got disappointed because the price of Bitcoin at the end of the day, Bitcoin Cash did so bad. And then if you look at what happened with Bitcoin Cash, that is to show you how determined the Bitcoin community or the Bitcoin maximalists really are. So looking at the fact that Bitcoin Cash, the promoters of Bitcoin Cash, or those involved with Bitcoin Cash, have been intensively or both intensive and extensively trying to make a lot of people think that Bitcoin Cash is the real Bitcoin, which obviously we all know is not the reason. So this fork is very healthy for Bitcoin, and at the same time for Bitcoin Cash as well, naturally, where Bitcoin Cash would have new symbols, which is the BCHABC and then the BCHSV or whatever. Now, these new names, as a result of the chain break, would actually give the entire ecosystem an understanding of what Bitcoin Cash is and what the real Bitcoin also is. We all know Bitcoin Cash is not Bitcoin. So if it was so close to trying to market itself as it was Bitcoin, now it has been destroyed towards that, where it can actually stand on its own, be what it really must be, or maybe an alternative coin to other maybe cryptocurrencies out there, or to Bitcoin itself. That is very normal. So now some of these instances, why is it that the market manipulators or the market makers can push the price so low now that a fork was happening. For we know that when a fork is happening, normally or usually there is a crazy demand for the coin, which usually leads to loss of buying. And if there is loss of buying, it means the price obviously need to do so well. But it has been the opposite ever since people were expecting to cash out on the fork on top of Bitcoin Cash. That was as at yesterday, 15th of November. Now, the recent shares falls, as you see over here, is tech giants Apple, which recently crossed the $1 trillion market in market value, and Goldman Sachs, the world's leading global investment banking, securities, and investment management, which has been recently engulfed in accusations coming from Malaysia's prime minister, have both experienced a drop in prices of their shares. Now, these are big markets, these are big industries, and what is happening? Let's look at the article. Let's continue to read. It says the drop of both has equaled roughly about a 160 point loss for the Dow Jones November 12th, and this has led Kaiser to make a suggestion that the index might experience a fall to below the 10,000 barrier in the future. Now, Kaiser wrote on his Twitter page that 10 years of cash transfusion from central banks making the globe's economic depths in 2008 hasn't worked. Now, the 1000, here we come. The BTC will make a new all-time high. Whether this is really going to work, we don't know. Whether it is not going to work, we don't know. But obviously, it has been the opposite experience. We were expecting, well, Bitcoin should at least be maintaining its own 6,000 balance. But as we speak right now, it's like the opposite. It keeps on dropping, and the volume looks very interesting, which is very promising. But in an unpredictable market, we all know anything can basically happen and at any time. Now, let's look at the opinions on Bitcoin prices. What other people are saying is that many on the wealthy side are, however, still optimistic about Bitcoin. And Bitcoin billionaire investor Tim Draper actually just last week stated in Europe's largest fintech conference, I mean 2018, that to predict that Bitcoin would hit at least $250,000 at the very least by 2023. Now, 2023, we are currently in 2018, and that's a very reasonable prediction where it has a lot to do. A lot of things need to happen concurrently till we hit the 2023. That is, if God wills, for all of us to be around. Now, 5 years for a market to restructure itself towards this direction is not a joke, and it means lots of activities are basically going to happen when we know lots of activities are going to happen before before the market actually direct itself towards that. And then also it continues. He says blockchain wallet CEO Peter Smith, that is blockchain.com, and managing capital co-founder Gary Tan, also collaborated this fact but shied away from predicting a particular figure. However, they all agree that by this time next year, Bitcoin will certainly be worth more in terms of market capitalization and price. This answers it all. And it ended that Tim Draper actually, my prediction for $250,000 by 2022 or maybe 2023, but in that range is absolutely solid. But I'm not sure how we are going to get there. Nobody is very sure how we're going to get there, but everybody is just very positive because it's a market that is worth that price. So guys, these are some of the things that keep on happening in the industry. These are some of the things that you need to be informed. You need to know, and then you know what you're doing, so that you don't afford to put in where you can easily lose. You put in what, even when you lose, you're not going to be like disappointed about it. And it's very, very important you guys get to know that this market is unpredictable, and the market is not stable currently. A lot of things keep on going, and you can't predict what is going to happen or what is not going to happen, but you can equally have a fair idea as to how it is going to happen. So guys, just be very sure, if you are in this because of some businesses you are promoting, that's fine, but know how to market your business. If you are in this because you want to be rich tomorrow, know that it's not easy, it's a process, right? And even these are billionaires who are not sure how the market is going to go, but they are hopeful, and you need to use it to guide yourself. And if you are in this because of the technology, well, you should know you have a very long way to go, and it's just getting started. The excitement will come, a lot of pressure will come, a lot of disappointment will continue to come. There are going to be lots of pumps, lots of downs, ups and downs. We all know, obviously, more ups and downs is what gives life stability. So it's normal. We have to all accept stuff like that. So guys, see you next week. Don't forget to actually share this video to your colleagues, your friends. Those of you on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. Once you subscribe, you click on the notify me button so that you get notified whenever we upload new stuffs on our timeline or our channel. And follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well at Ebitcoinics. And then until then, I'll see you next week, God willing. Same time, 4 o'clock. You just have to be ready, be available, so that we all continue to learn together. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your evenings wherever you are.